are going to be bringing in Vincent, the Horror King, known from Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. He's been all over the place. He has one of the best entrances in all of wrestling as well. So if you haven't seen that, you got to make sure you check it out. But we're very excited to have him here on the first ever Keaton's Collectibles live virtual signing. Keaton has some great pictures. Again, 8x10s, the 11x17s. He's got another art print by a guy that is really, really nice. Some very cool stuff. Looking forward to showing that off to you. You can buy those, of course, on Keaton's website, keatonskollectibles.com. And there he is. What's going on, man? Yeah, we'll grab a seat right over here.
How you doing?
Good.
Good
to see you, man. Always good to see you.
Sorry, I'm a little late.
No, you're perfectly fine, man. Yeah, we're having a great time. Obviously, we were just showing off some of the stuff that Keaton has here for all of his signings that he's done over the time. So he's got some great stuff there, and we're really excited to have you here.
Are we live here?
Yes, we are live.
Oh, hello. We're live, all right.
That's it, yeah, man. So Keaton's got some great stuff. He's got some pictures. I'm sure you saw some of that stuff out there.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so we just figured we'd have you in here, say hey.
I'm excited. Sorry I'm late, guys. Just got stuck in traffic.
No, that's all right. So she's going to bring some pictures over here. I just wanted to ask a couple questions too while we're going on there, but all right, she's going to grab some pens, but we'll hold that out. But so you grew up in Rhode Island.
Yes, sir.
So I grew up in Maryland, not as far northeast, but so how does one decide they want to become a wrestler when you're growing up in Rhode Island?
It's funny. I've told this story a couple different times.
All right. Well.
So my aunt Donna, God rest her soul, she was the big wrestling fan in the family. My father and my mother enjoyed it as well. But there was in Providence, I grew up in Warwick, which is right outside Providence. Okay. In Providence, there was the Civic Center, which is now the Dunkin' Donuts Center. And my grandmother had lived in an apartment building for the elderly. It was probably like a 5-minute walk from the Dunkin' Donuts Center, right on like Atwells Ave in the heart of Providence.
Okay.
And we'd always used to, when the live events would come to Providence, we would meet up at my grandmother's. We would get Caserta's pizza, which is always a tradition in Providence.
Right.
If you're in Rhode Island, you know Caserta's pizza. So we'd meet up there. I must have been like 6 years old.
Okay.
And we'd walk from there with the whole family. My Aunt Donna would lead the charge because she was the biggest wrestling fan. And the way she got into it was she was flicking through the channels and she fell in love with Bret Hart.
Okay, there you go.
So she was a huge Bret Hart fan.
Yeah.
And we used to walk to the Civic Center, and every time they were there, we'd do the same routine, and we'd meet up there. And I just fell in love with it, man. And I remember a couple different times where I was like, man, this is the greatest thing ever. I loved the Ultimate Warrior as a kid.
Oh, right,
I was dressed as the Ultimate Warrior on my cousin Tony's shoulders at one of the live event house shows, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I just remember the Undertaker zipping up the Ultimate Warrior in the body bag.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And then the Ultimate Warrior ripping out of it, and the crowd was going insane. I mean, I was going insane.
I imagine, yeah.
And then the 1994 Royal Rumble, when they did Yokozuna and the Undertaker was on like the screen there inside the casket.
Yeah.
Like I loved it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then. Yeah, and then, I throughout high school, me and my buddies would wrestle around in the backyard.
Of course,
my father had actually built us, me and my brother. My brother likes wrestling, but he never wanted to do it. I knew I wanted to do it. So my dad, he built us a little ring actually in the backyard, which was like a 5 by 10. Now we were smaller then. Right. I mean? And then literally PVC pipes in the ground, ropes, the whole 9 yards. And then we ended up going through about 4 trampolines. Right. And then there was a girl that I had met in high school, and I must have been wearing a wrestling shirt or something.
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh, you're a wrestling fan?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, my boyfriend wrestles." And at that time, I'm like, to me, I only know what's on television and nothing else.
Right. Right.
So I ended up going to this building that had a ring where they were training people and stuff. It was in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And I was 16 years old, and I was it was the first time I ever touch the ring and walk around in it as a young kid, and I fell in love with it, man. And it was pretty much from then on.
I kept thinking, like, I never had, there was no independent, I grew up in Maryland, there weren't really independent shows. So was that all WWF or WWE that came through Rhode Island, or were there other shows?
Yeah, there were. But then, like, once I met her and I went to that place, then I caught wind of, like, there was a lot of local, like, independent shows.
Right,
especially big in the Massachusetts area.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So I started to go around those shows like 17, 18 years old, like, you know, like helping out and setting up rings, whatever, just to try to like get involved. Like I didn't know how to get involved in this, you know. And then I wrestled in some local shows eventually about, you know, 19 years old, and then, you know, around 21 turning 22, 22 I think it was, is when I went over to Spike Dudley's school, the Lockup Academy in Fall River, Massachusetts, and then it just kind of started
going from there.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man.
That's a you know, a little probably long-winded than you wanted.
No, that's good. Yeah, I mean, because it's, you know, now we're living in Florida, right? So like, there's so much. I mean, there's like 5 wrestling schools in Orlando.
Sure.
You know, and it's like, man, I keep thinking, like, if they had that 20 years ago,
when
I was coming up, like, who knows what.
And then Tampa has a few too.
Yeah, I mean, you go down South Florida, there's a few down there too, and it's really neat now to see how wrestling really has grown. Yeah. You know, like, there's several big companies out there now, and you know, doing their thing, and but yeah, Keaton, do you want to have him sign some of these pictures now?
I thought first off, someone was very excited to be a part of this, to buy a poster.
What do we got?
And we wanted to make sure they got a personalization on camera.
All right.
We have Gina in Wisconsin.
Gina, this is for you, Gina.
What a cool picture that is, by the way. Wow.
This is Scarborough Tattoo, Kyle. He's great.
That's awesome.
So I'll do this for Gina. Let's see, what color will be sweet on this? Is Gina in the group?
No, she is not.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Gina, how about we do silver? I think silver.
She helped advertise. She was super excited to be a part of this, so I wanted to give her some time on the stream.
Awesome. All right.
That's a great picture right there.
Yeah, he does great stuff. I actually got my hand tattooed by him.
Okay.
A couple months back. He's from St. Louis.
Okay.
But he's a great artist. All right.
Great.
Gina, you got it.
There.
Right on camera for you.
Very nice.
Well, thank you, Gina, for your support.
Thank you very much.
You know, sharing the thing right there. We appreciate that.
You can just continue.
All right.
We'll do a couple more here.
Someone actually asked, what are your thoughts on Pitch Black Mountain Dew? I don't know if you ever tried it. That's what somebody asked in the comments. So.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it yet. I heard it's a great flavor, though. So we'll see.
Are you a Mountain Dew guy as it is, or
you know what? I like Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
You know, I don't hate it. Code Red's probably my favorite.
I was gonna say I actually like the Code Red. It's
you know why? Because
somewhat
when I was a
difficult to
kid,
find. Yeah.
I loved Shirley Temples.
Okay.
And that's what a Code Red reminds me of. And
There
my
you go.
daughter loves Shirley Temples.
Oh yeah.
Am I just signing these?
Yes.
Just a signature?
Yep. And if anything you would add, it's totally fine too.
Okay.
We give people pretty much free reign
Cool.
to write whatever
Cool.
they say, want to say.
So the Horror King, you like horror movies, horror stuff.
Of course.
Do you have a favorite horror movie, a horror franchise, horror?
So my favorite movie of all time is The Lost Boys.
Oh wow, okay.
So I don't really consider The Lost Boys much of a horror movie. You know, it's like more of a comedy horror to me.
Okay, yeah, right, sure.
But that's my all-time favorite movie. And then like franchise. When I was a kid, I loved Jason.
Okay.
As I got older,
Because you could either be Jason or Freddy. Nobody could really be both.
Right.
Yeah.
As a Jason guy when I was a kid.
Okay, all right.
When I got older, I liked Michael Myers. I do love Freddy, and you know, Freddy is the more popular one.
Okay, I can see that.
obviously because he's got the charisma and personality. So, the other guys don't really say much. But yeah, those probably Jason and then Karun to Michael Myers. But man, there's so many good horror movies that I love. Not much of a zombie guy, but the 1990 remake of Night of the Living Dead, Tom Savini's, is one of my favorite zombie movies of all time. But there's so many. How about you? What's yours?
Man, I think I definitely started as a Freddy guy.
Okay.
Like, that was my original.
Fair enough, yeah.
I think it was the third one, the Dreamwalkers. I remember like they came out and they were walking around as puppeteers,
Yeah,
and I just
yeah.
remember that being like so gross. I'm like,
Right.
I can't believe my parents are letting me
with
watch
the
this.
veins and stuff,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. They've kind of held up. I have a 16-year-old and a 13-year-old now, and they're kind of getting into the horror movies, so they like the Scream stuff kind of right now. But,
Okay.
but we've gotten into some Nightmare on Elm Street stuff. And
Scream is my wife's favorite.
Okay.
Yeah. You ever hear the story about how the Scream character came about?
I don't think I did.
No? Oh, okay. So, and I'm just going by like what I have read.
Yeah.
So I guess like the woman that was in charge of finding the different like houses that they were going to use for the movie.
Yeah.
She had called Wes Craven over to look at this house that they wanted to use for one of the houses in it, and I guess the woman that lived in this house, her sons moved away for school, and their rooms are kept the same. And Wes Craven had walked into one of the kids' rooms, and the mask was on the bedpost. And writing the movie, there wasn't a distinct look for the character yet. They knew there was a killer, they just didn't know what he was going to look like. And I guess he said, like, that's the killer as soon as he saw the mask, and that was it.
That's pretty cool. Hey,
It's pretty wild.
Sometimes those things you fall into.
Yeah, no, it's such an iconic thing. It's pretty cool.
We were kind of talking about horror movies before, and like the Saw franchise. I don't know if that's really considered a horror or just like a psychedelic, like
Yeah, I'm not much
craziness.
into
But like,
the Saw
I imagine
franchise,
like
but-
sitting in a boardroom or something with with a bunch of people and saying, "How are we going to come up with the next thing that's
Right.
this next torture?"
Right. I
Here's
mean,
another piece of paper we need to.
I mean, the first one is such a great movie. I mean, at the end when that guy stands up.
Oh,
it's- you can't top something like that. I thought that was great.
I actually have something to add about Saw.
Okay.
Hopefully within the next year or so, we are going to get the girl that was in the helmet,
Yeah. I forget her name.
Shawnee Smith, something like
Yes.
that. She was also in Becker with Ted Danson on
Okay.
TV, and she was in The Blob, I believe, too.
Yes.
She is definitely somebody that we are going to talk to about getting a private signing.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that might be
The 1980s Blob, right? Yeah.
the remake.
Yeah. That's a good movie too.
So hopefully that'll be one of our next, non-wrestling signings.
Awesome.
Just a great shot too. Like the photos came out really
Yeah,
good.
you picked out some good ones.
In the comments, Shauna said hi. Shauna Reardon.
Shauna, how are you?
Shauna, one of the best photographers, by the way. She goes around to all the shows here in Florida.
Great.
Does a great job, and we appreciate all you do, Shauna.
Another
Very
comment
cool job,
was, just want to tell him I love the timing of his and Dutch's tweet. Dig what I'm saying. And Mia's in the comments as well. Simmons, Maisha
Okay.
Simmons.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Hi, Mia. Thanks for all you do too. She travels all over the state of Florida to come to a bunch of these shows, and just one of the best people. Good people. We appreciate you for sure.
Very nice.
Yeah. Dig what I'm saying. Here's what the Ring of Honor 6-man.
Six-man
cool.
tag champs.
How about that?
It's a good run. I miss Bateman. I haven't seen Bateman forever. Listen.
Somebody was actually asking me, I don't know if you could talk about it or not, but so TK O'Ryan was originally with you guys, and So is he just retired now, or
I haven't
not
heard
doing
from
much?
TK Orion in about 3 years.
Really? Okay.
So I have no idea what
Okay.
he's
Well,
up to.
hey, so if you ask the
Answer
question,
that question,
there's your
I have
answer.
no idea.
Yeah. No, all good, man. That was
Yep.
Like I told Pete before the signing, like I knew TK on the through the internet before I knew you or Taven.
Okay.
Bought 2 sets of gear off of him. Checked on him multiple times after he broke his leg.
Right.
And
That was crazy.
Yeah, we would talk on Facebook, every once in a while, and then.
great show.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him. Hope he's well, But
All 3 of you guys as a faction worked very well for a long time.
For that time,
in
yeah.
Ring of Honor, so.
I love looking at those photos. Catch you jumping off the top rope there.
yeah, I was been doing that since I was same move since I was 12 years old.
So you started on the trampolines, you said back in Rhode
Yeah,
Island.
it's
So
not. Yeah,
you ever afraid of heights or anything like that?
I
You know?
am.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I am. There's some times where I've done some stuff in my career where I get up there and then I look down like, oh man, I don't want to jump.
You look over and you see all the people out there.
Anything
and you're
that
like,
takes
what am I
a little
doing?
longer than it should, I'm like, oh, I'm changing my mind here. So you just gotta kind of
Yeah.
commit.
Oh yeah. And I guess once you're
Go,
up there,
you know
it's
what I
hard
mean?
to
It's
come
like
down.
jumping into cold water. You just gotta go.
People are watching. I gotta be
Yeah,
good now.
exactly.
Oh man. So you mentioned the Ultimate Warrior and the Undertaker, in the
Yeah.
match back then. But did you have a favorite wrestler as a kid? Like somebody that actually was like, I want to be that guy, or I want to be like that guy.
When I was a teenager, the Hardy Boys were the
Okay.
reason
Oh,
why I
there you go.
started.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
WrestleMania 2000, that first triangle ladder match with the Hardys, Edge and Christian, the Dudleys was
Yeah.
a match that now I'm in my teens and now I'm like this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
When you're a
wow.
kid, of course, I want to be a wrestler, But that was when I was like, I think I'm gonna this is gonna be my life or try to,
Man.
So that was the match, but the Hardys were a big influence on me wanting to become.
Oh,
a
I
wrestler.
get it. Yeah, that's
Hence that photo that I signed over.
right. Yeah, right. Very cool.
I love this picture too.
I know. Yeah, that's a great one. Look at
It's
that.
one of my favorite photos.
Dig what I'm saying right there. And that color marker too looks just really, really good.
Yeah.
On these things.
No matter who we have, the red looks
The
amazing.
red really is the best one. I always keep going back to it for all the photos because I just think it pops the best on it.
And white or black background, they both look
Yeah.
equally as good. Which is not usually the case. It's usually one or the other.
I think this is really cool.
Yeah, so by popular demand, we were not supposed to print these. This was not an option, but today there was multiple messages about the actual announcement graphic that we had. So it's going to be limited to 20 of the Time magazine. I mean, not Time, Life magazine inspired 8x10s. So.
Check out this photo there too. It's a great shot.
And the all the unsigned 8x10s that we had available on our website has never been used for Vincent before.
Okay.
So these are all brand new things. I did not reuse a single photo.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome. And they're quality photos.
Oh yeah,
That's
actually.
great.
we actually offer printing services if anyone wants that as well. You can contact us through social media. A bunch of wrestlers have contacted us to use our printing services. So
Yeah, if you're at a show and you want to sell 8x10s for your merch,
Yeah.
you can call Keaton and or find him here on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and he can get you 8x10 pictures that you can sell and sign at your own shows.
we actually got a couple hundred to a wrestler the next day, and they were flying out to Mania weekend.
Okay.
So we could have it the next day. So
Awesome.
Have
Very
printer
cool
will
graphic
travel.
right there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm telling you, you could bring your printer with you and to all the shows and stuff that you do, and
That's we were
that could
thinking.
be a thing.
I was thinking about talking to all the convention promoters that just for my talents, would they allow me to do a photo op area, and I'll print everyone's photo op right there. So you're gonna go home
Oh,
with
yeah. Right, there
an
you
8 by
go.
10, or if you want a poster of you with our talents.
So Keaton, did you have a favorite wrestler growing up?
The first one was The Rock.
Okay.
That even when I was 2, The Rock and DDP were the only 2 I knew.
Okay.
I was afraid of everything else, but The Rock and DDP. And then when I got older, because The Rock, went to Hollywood and everything, it was Edge for me. So.
Okay.
These came out great.
And it's crazy now.
That's another guy art print, by the way.
Yeah.
Keaton's artist over there does an amazing job.
I feel like a lot of my favorites now are the people that I work with all the time, like Vincent and Leva and Ryzen and Sue Young and Rich Swan and everybody. So, Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah. Well, you picked some really good ones.
It makes a huge difference when you work with people and meet them and see how cool they are and everything.
That's the other thing I think too with the independent shows. When I was a kid, there was no way you were like, and I was born in '78, so like Hulk Hogan was the guy when I was a really little kid. But you were never gonna meet Hulk Hogan. Like that, you weren't coming close. You go to an arena and but now with the independent shows, like you can actually go and do a meet and greet and like shake somebody's hand. Like, and I'd rather just shake somebody's hand and say I actually met him. And it's just such a cool experience to get to meet somebody. Here in Florida, NXT is the local, it wasn't local. They were coming around originally, and there'd be 50 people at the matches, and now some of these people are the biggest stars in the world, and it's just really cool to, hey, we got to know them, or my daughter got Bailey's headband, 10 years ago, and now she's a big star and all that stuff. So the being able to meet somebody, I think, really does change your outlook and find out if somebody's
I mean, Sasha Banks is in the Tokyo Dome.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people are finding a lot of success outside of the WWE too, which was not a thing before too. So.
Once again, here's the art print there. It's very cool. Guy does an amazing job. Pass that over.
And I was actually at the show in, I think it was Lakeland, when you guys were like banned from the building.
Oh,
Super
yeah.
Card of Honor.
Yeah, yeah.
And
we were out in the parking lot.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. That was that whole WrestleMania weekend was like my first big
that's
wrestling
funny.
weekend. We just moved down to Florida, and that was like overwhelming to me because like I was able to walk in and meet like Colt Cabana, Will Ospreay,
Yeah.
Ricochet, all these Swoggle, all these people in one room. Meanwhile, at local shows, you're not going to have all those talents at one show.
Yeah, definitely not at one.
That was a big show.
And like one of the matches was going on, and all of a sudden, red balloons come out of the bottom of the ring. So
that was tough. Always trying to time those.
yeah, I bet.
You mean you weren't hanging out under there
Yeah.
waiting to?
That was tough making that happen.
We do have a couple more of these shots right here too. Again, just such a cool.
Really cool photo.
And just so everyone knows, he'll be signing more than what's just on camera, but we do not want to have the whole live stream of him signing everything. We want more of a conversation, a laid-back conversation with all of these talents.
Oh yeah, man.
Just like we're having right now.
Yeah.
If anybody's got any questions, fire them away.
Yeah.
Yes? Any
Fire
questions
away.
out there?
I kind of have a question.
Yeah.
What about, what were your,
What's up, Mama Collectible?
your feelings of when you had to do the what do you call it, with Leva and Sue?
Oh, the tag team match that they had at the
tag
last
team.
show.
Yes.
So at Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling at their December show, I think the match of the night
Yes.
was Vincent and Leva Bates versus Ryzen and Sue Young, four of our favorite people at Keaton's Collectibles. What did you think of that match and the whole experience surrounding it?
For me personally, I dug it because it made so much sense. You know what I mean? Between the four people, I just thought it was, couldn't have figured, I guess, four better people to have that kind of tag match. So I thought it was cool, and I feel like I'm still cleaning off mist.
All right.
Yeah.
I know we scrubbed the carpet for a while after that.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it, and felt like everybody there did, especially like Sue Young just came back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was cool.
That
too.
was her return match to Atomic, anyway.
Okay,
so.
cool.
So is that like? Do you still get like? I don't know how you've been around for a while and you've wrestled a lot of people. So like,
Yeah,
when you get the
ton of
mist
people.
from Sue Young, is that like? Is that cool like to you, or like is that like because that's
Yeah,
like
it's always
kinda
cool.
like
You know
her
what I
go-to,
mean?
or-
Like, it's funny. I did the mist before with Bushi.
Okay.
in Japan there.
Yeah.
And he came on like one of the War of the World tours with Ring of Honor.
Oh wow.
And he missed me one night, and it's funny because like during the whole tour, I kept it on.
Mhm.
So
Oh, okay.
I was green the whole entire tour. So, but
We
I thought
had-
it was hard to get out. You can't get it out.
There was a female wrestler one time that got misted by Sue, and we went out to eat afterwards. We're out to eat, and she's red, and she goes, "I am never washing this off," because
right.
she was like on cloud nine.
Yeah.
That was her.
I almost said who it was, but I don't know if we should
Yeah, I
say
don't
who
know,
it is.
but she was very
but
happy.
it was it's someone that it's very good to work with.
Yes.
Say who it is.
Yeah, say the name.
It was Jody Morton.
Okay, yeah.
At Atomic, actually. And, yeah.
I just think like I grew up a great Muda. He was like the guy back in my
Sure.
days, and like seeing like somebody get the miss was like, oh man.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd actually like taking that, or it's like just something different. And but do you have like a bucket list person that you haven't been in the ring with yet? That like is somebody that you'd like. And have you gotten in there with the Hardys? You've gotten to do that.
I have wrestled Matt Hardy at least 4 times.
Oh.
Jeff Hardy I wrestled in a main event singles, and then I wrestled both of them in a tag in North Carolina.
Wow.
So that was cool.
Yeah, right, yeah,
The kid
right.
in me was like, this is.
So do you get to the back and actually tell them like, hey, or is it like I can't really do that? 'cause-
Oh yeah, I've told them.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
yeah.
I know that's
Sure.
one you gotta be like,
yeah.
oh no, I'm not gonna.
Why
say
not?
that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that was cool. Somebody on my bucket list that I would want to wrestle with and work with. I'd really like to work with Seth Rollins one day.
Oh, yeah,
That'd be
yeah,
cool,
right.
I
He's
think
doing some amazing stuff.
Yeah, I think he's fantastic. There's so many.
No, no, right. I know,
There's so
I
many
know.
good wrestlers out there. It's hard to name
Yeah.
everyone.
Right, no,
you
right,
know.
right.
And there's a lot of good wrestlers that I, have been, blessed enough to get in there with. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, so many.
Well, even more pressure then. Do you have a favorite match that you've been in? Like that, like you say, this is.
My favorite match, one of my favorite singles matches, was in 2016 against Rey Mysterio.
Oh wow. Okay.
He was just one of my favorite opponents because it was just crazy how good how easy it
Yeah,
was,
right,
but
right.
good,
Yeah.
like it was crazy. That's probably one of my favorite matches, singles that I've had. Favorite, there's been the cage match with myself and Taven.
Right,
That
yeah,
was
yeah.
One of my favorite singles as well. Just because it was a 2-year
And it was
story,
build up, yeah,
build
for
up,
sure.
and that was the final, blow off to it. So that was really
Right.
That was fun. That whole thing, building it, and the way it was built. Over that 2-year span going into that match, just felt like, oh wow, this is it. Like that, all of that was, you know what I mean?
Oh right,
Like okay, that's great.
No, and it paid off because
Yeah,
everybody that watched it, remembered that. It's still talked about, like to this day. It's like
that was
that
one
cage
of my
match.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. And just how everything kind of came into play, like getting the tag with Dutch, who's one of my closest friends, and then Bateman too.
Yeah.
Just kind of having those guys come along, and you know what I mean, and then kind of work into something later. So, and it just worked. I just felt like myself, and I wish we had gotten more of a chance together during that time. Me, Dutch, and Bateman. I just think aesthetically and just everything just fits so well.
It really did. It really
You know
did.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, hopefully sometime we can come back around to that and
Well,
kind of bring it back. So
there's time.
we'll see.
There's time. There's time.
We'll see.
We actually have a question from Mia. Did you have a good time in CMLL? Would you like to go back to Mexico?
I did. I love CMLL. It was actually it was an experience, and I loved the atmosphere in that building. The Arena Mexico was crazy. You know what I mean? I loved it. The trip was awesome. I think that a lot of wrestlers should just go there and experience it because it's so different. You know what I mean? And it's just it looks great on the resume too. But
that has to help the different styles. And
Right.
like
Yeah. It'd be great to go back to answer that question, and I really enjoyed it. The crowd was insane. The crowd was wild. Like you could, do anything or nothing, and they're just crazy. And I loved my match with Sabrano Jr. He was great to work with out there.
Do you keep track of all your matches? Like, do you know how many states you?
I have
Any
no
idea
idea.
how many states
I
you?
have no idea.
No.
I have
You're
no
like,
idea.
all right.
No idea.
No, that's okay.
No.
Some people are like really meticulous. And
No, like I have a notebook of like stuff, like ideas creatively and stuff like that. But no, like you know what? I wish I did. You know? What I mean?
for sure.
And I have a lot of photos that I've taken.
That was actually my next question. So we're Keaton's Collectibles here, and like, so do you collect anything like from your career? Like, are you do you hang on to like magazine clippings and things like that, or
like wrestling posters,
or
that.
cards, or memorabilia? I don't know from your.
No,
not really.
No.
You've been there, so you have the memory. So
I collect. I do collect stuff, but
Okay.
I collect a lot of stuff from horror movies.
Okay, there you
I
go.
got a lot of like screen use props and stuff like that.
Okay.
So we have like a little theater room in our home, and I have like a lot of screen use movie props.
There you go. That's collectible.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be wrestling.
There's some there's things that I'm always like, I wish I held on to that, or I wish I could go back and get that poster or whatever, just for like memory. That's all I'm gonna have eventually one day anyway with it. But I don't really, because to me there's nowhere to put it.
Well, that's true.
Having all this stuff. Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're like building a warehouse on the side of the house.
But I have like Ring of Honor giving me like a replica of the 6-man title. I have that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like.
So is that a
there's
thing when
certain
somebody
things.
wins a championship that they actually do get a copy, or that you have to work that into the agreement?
I'm not sure. I'm assuming
Okay.
some people do, and then other people, if you ask, they'll get. You know what I mean? I'm not really sure exactly. I'm assuming every place is different.
Yeah, no,
so,
obviously, yeah. That's very cool. Though.
Yeah, they gave that to me, so that's cool to have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is stuff like, I have a ton of photos.
Okay.
On my phone of like all the different places. Like there's a section when we did the UK tour. I went to all that, and I have a ton of photos from the UK. And
Okay.
when we did the Japan tour, like I have a lot of stuff that are like, if I want to like print them out, frame them, whatever.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff that I do have that I can do if it ever gets to that point. But yeah, I'm always like, where do I put it all?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
My wife says the same thing at our house.
Yeah.
Like, it's for me,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I have like an office in the corner, and then it's gradually getting bigger, and she wants it to put it back in.
Right. Yeah, so
But-
the theater room is strictly like all that kind of stuff.
So how do you find like actual used props? Like you see like that there's auctions going on, or do you
Yeah,
reach out
you
to
can go to like different they have them out there, like different prop auctions and
Okay.
prop stores that they have online, and you can get lucky sometimes and kind of nail some of the stuff that
is available from different movies.
You have a favorite piece then?
Yeah.
Okay, of course you do.
Yeah.
Of
You
course
guys
you do.
saw it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
one of the jackets from the Lost Boys movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
The one that Alex Winter had actually, and it's funny enough because we were at the signing, the last thing.
Yeah, he
signing
was at
it,
this
there,
kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and I brought it to sign it. Yeah, because it's like that's like the piece. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
So that's probably my.
What did he
favorite.
think when he saw it?
Oh yeah, he was amazing. He has seen a lot of like replica ones.
Sure.
And stuff like that. So he was like blown away by it. So
Right.
it's really cool. Yeah.
That had to be pretty neat.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Okay.
My favorite thing.
That's
I'm always like, oh, maybe I'll sell this thing. And my wife's always like, no, because I know if you sell it, you're gonna want it back.
That's the one
Yes.
thing, yeah. Especially if you said that's your favorite movie of all
Yeah,
time,
it
right?
is.
Yeah.
That's the one. My one place I want to visit is the Santa Cruz Boardwalk.
Okay.
That was used in that film.
Yeah.
So one place I haven't been. I've been everywhere, and I have never been there. I'm dying to go there. So hopefully.
Well, that's
eventually-
doable. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
No, yeah, it's definitely doable. Like eventually we'll make it happen.
I have like 4 states that I need to get to, and they're like right in the middle of the country, and I like there's not a reason for me to
Yeah,
get there.
yeah.
So it's like it's just like why I don't need
Gotcha,
to do that,
yeah.
you know? But
Right.
but yeah, that one's
Right.
doable. You can get
Yeah,
over there. And,
yeah.
You know,
Eventually we'll
make
figure
a
it out.
side trip, but
Side note: Tori Reardon is in the comments as well.
okay.
She said hello to Vincent and Pete.
Hello, Tori.
Hello,
How are
Tori.
you?
Yeah.
I did want to take a quick second and thank everyone that's in the comments because a lot of our favorite people also were viewers tonight. So thank you
guys.
for coming out.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for watching and checking all the stuff that Keaton has, and Vincent for your time coming over
Yeah,
here.
thank you guys. Yeah.
We appreciate you've always
No
been a big
problem.
supporter of Keaton and everything that
Absolutely.
they do. So we appreciate everything that you do.
Thank you very much.
Got any other questions or
No.
things
Anybody
that-
else on there have any questions?
Yeah.
Feel free.
Yeah. Any
I'm
questions?
Here.
I will say, for the next 15 minutes, if anyone needs any questions answered, we're here to answer them, right?
There you go. Yeah.
I can bring in some more stuff
Yeah.
while we're waiting if there's anything
Sure.
else. I can't think if there's anything we had questions.
I want to get like Chunk's shirt from the Goonies or something like that. I think that
Oh,
that'd be
yeah,
like a
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool like.
That's something we can think about doing in the future is if we reach out to talents that we're having signings with, if they have gear to sell, we can do that like a month before and cut it up and put it in the cards and have them sign it at the signing.
Oh,
That would be
yeah.
cool. That
That's
would be
a great
cool.
idea.
So
That's a great idea.
So do you have? That's like other question then. So I know that we made this wrestling card for the Atomic show.
Yeah.
But do you have like another? Do you have other wrestling cards?
No, that's the
Not
only
really.
one I have.
I was
Yeah.
wondering. I've collected cards since I was. a
Yeah,
little kid.
yeah,
I was
and the
like,
cards
it'd
are
be
a
cool
great
to make
idea,
this.
honestly.
Yeah.
And actually, even like something like he said, the card with the gear swatch on
Mhm.
it,
Yeah.
like those are that's a great idea. 'Cause people love the cards.
Yeah.
like they love to collect cards. So that's a
And
there's
it's
a market
small,
for it.
so my wife allows me to do that because
Yeah.
everything else takes up a lot of room.
Yeah,
This
and
can
you
go in the drawer.
You can put them in a nice little thing and put it on a plaque, however you want to display it. It's
Yeah.
up to you, but you can do a lot with it. And, people love it. People love the cards. So.
Okay. Yeah, I was always wondering like if you had any other.
No.
Like Ring of Honor didn't make a set back in the day, or.
they
No, I
they
don't
didn't,
have-
and they didn't really make. I mean, they made Taven as a figure, but they never made Vincent.
No, the only thing
Which is weird.
it is, and to be honest, I have a photo of it. They had like the scan of my head already
Mhm.
done, like the mold.
Unless they were working on
Yeah,
making it.
yep. And the only thing I got from there was the micro brawler.
Oh, okay.
There is
yes.
a micro brawler.
It was a 3-pack, right?
Yes, it was the Kingdom. But no, I didn't. I was curious too what that figure was gonna look like.
Like I have 2 Tavens at home. It's in the Kingdom gear from around the same time, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, where's Vincent and TK?
Yep.
We were just talking about figures too, because he had a Shotzi figure over there, and like how detailed they've gotten now.
Oh
with these
yeah,
things.
compared to back in the day. Yeah.
I had like these LJN, they were rubber. And
Yeah.
8 inches tall.
I had
like
algae
yeah,
arms.
like you could clearly now like see every tattoo that she has
Yep.
on her
It's-
thing. Like,
it's
like her
crazy.
face is clearly her face.
Yep.
It's crazy how many tattoos they kept on there. Like there's some like real characters from movies and they kept it on there. I don't remember exactly what they kept.
Yeah.
Oh, because like legally,
'Cause-
you can't have some of that.
Yeah.
Like
or whatever.
a lot of the figures they'll take them off, but some of them they left
Yeah.
on for her, which is nice.
That's kind of cool.
And I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
How was it working with Shotzi Blackheart? Not too many people know, but we actually hosted Shotzi Blackheart at our booth for the first day at Spookala, and Vincent and Shotzi signed together at the same
Yeah,
time.
Shotzi was great, and she made the line longer for both of us.
Right, that's even better. Even better.
But no, she was great. She was great to work with. Very nice person. She was great to all her fans. So yeah, huge supporter of her. She was great.
Tori asks, "What's an interesting fact about you that not too many people know?"
An interesting fact about me that not too many people know. That's a good question.
That's a very good
That's a
question.
very
That's a
good
very
question.
good question. That's a very good
Tori out there to stump the guest. Yeah.
That not too many people
It's making
know.
our questions look super simple.
Right, yeah.
She's a deep thinker.
I'm actually crazy.
You don't have to work on that.
That is. Give me a second.
While you do that, I was actually the first Atomic show that you were booked at. I walk in and I'm talking to Ryzen and I'm like, I really want to talk to Vincent because I would really want to work with him. I just don't know how he is in real life. Like, is he like angry? Like, you know, what is he going to be like? And Ryzen's like, no, he's super cool. You need to go over and talk to him.
No, I'm not angry.
It's like when I meet someone like Sammy Callahan or somebody like that, I'm like, oh man, are they going to be like hyped up or something, or you know, like how
Are they gonna
intense
be
they're going
in
to be?
character or out of character?
Yes.
Yeah.
My first Ring of Honor show that I went to, they had a meet and greet with Adam Cole when he was the world champ,
Oh yeah.
and I'm waiting in line. I'm like, is he going to be like rude to everybody, or is he going to be like, is he going to stay in character, or is he going to be like just a normal person? He was the nicest guy.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy.
That's actually a question that I have. So, when you're at a show and you're a bad guy, and then you have a meet and greet and you're scheduled for a meet and greet, like, are you allowed to, or do people turn on the nice? Because we were talking about like at the independent shows, people need to sell their merchandise because that's how like they make their money. A lot of them.
Sure.
But
We
when
need-
they're a
yeah.
bad person, some of them like take it to heart. So even during the intermission, you know, like it's so like they're so in character that it scares some of the kids, you know, like
Right,
the
right,
kids
right,
away.
right.
So it's like, is there a dividing line of, hey, I need to sell my merch, so I better be a little nice, or is it like I got to stay bad all the time so that people know? Like that's all. I always thought that was kind of interesting to see like
Yeah.
what people.
The variety you know.
Yeah, because there are
Yeah, I
definitely
mean, it all
some.
depends on the person, really, you know, and what they're, you know, like. I guess it depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good question too. God, all these good questions.
Because there's been a few times that Pete and I were talking about it. We would go up to somebody at intermission that we've worked with for years, even, and like they're very standoffish. And at first, you're like, "Why are you being standoffish with me? You know who I am.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
We've
Yeah.
worked together." And then
Yeah.
you realize, oh, okay, like this is, you know, you're not talking to the person, you're talking to the character right
Yeah.
now.
Sure.
So dig what I'm saying. Is that something you've said for a very long time and just brought that to TV, or how did that like come?
See what I'm saying? Yeah.
You
know
yeah.
what? I said it. There was a sit-down interview for. It was with me and Caprice Coleman going into Final Battle 2019, and it was a sit-down interview, and I was talking to him, and at the end of the sentence, I was like, "Dig what I'm saying?" And it just
stuck.
what happened was when they made the VTR, like the video, the recap going before the match plays,
Okay. Yeah.
that ended that VTR, me saying that,
Okay.
and then I just kind of started saying it.
Okay. No, because a lot of the like sayings are just something that just randomly happens.
Yeah,
and all of a
exactly.
sudden it's like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
crowd's holding a sign the following week, or
Exactly,
you know, like something
exactly.
like it's not normally meant to be that way. It just
Right.
kind of happens to come out. But
Tori asks, any cool fan interactions that stuck with you over time?
Cool fan interactions that stuck with me. One time somebody got the "Do What I'm Saying" tattooed on their arm. That was pretty interesting.
Oh.
okay.
So I'll never forget that.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's probably my one fan interaction that stuck with me.
Did you have to autograph it?
Which
and
is
they
still
get that tattooed
cool.
on there too?
I did.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is still cool. You know, it's cool meeting different fans. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm a huge fan myself. You know, of different things. So I'm all about it.
We were walking with a female wrestler that Jamie Senegal at WrestleCade one time, and you're not thinking when everything's over, and really aren't many people around. We're just walking, and these two girls just run up to her, and they're like trembling. They're like, oh, you know, we love you so much, and I never forget Jamie being like, I think she had like platforms on and everything.
Yep.
Kind of looks down and she goes, thank you. She didn't know what to say. Like, and after they walked away, she goes, what should I have said? I don't know what I was supposed to say.
I feel like too that we forget when we're walking around with these people and saying, hey, you want to go out to dinner or you want to go somewhere, and they're like, yeah, but what if
I get recognized?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's a couple people that you've had signings. We had the Johnny Gargano thing earlier, but he came out on Twitter yesterday and said, if you see me in public,
yes,
please come, because he hates seeing like a tweet that says, hey, I saw you in the mall, but I didn't come up and say hi to you. He's like, come. He's like, I grew up a huge fan, so if I got to meet somebody that I wanted to when I was a kid, I would have loved it. So it's like,
I feel the same
don't
way.
miss it. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's like, if you got a chance to see him and then you didn't say anything, or that'd be a big miss. So you got to take your shot. But he came out and absolutely said it, and that's cool that Vincent, you feel the same way, man.
Oh, yeah,
that's
of
very
course.
cool.
Absolutely.
It's always like, all right, there's certain times you don't. If somebody's
Yeah.
eating, you
Yes.
just shouldn't do.
Yes.
You know, like,
Yeah. But most people know that.
right? Yeah, but if they're in the
Yes.
mall or they're whatever, and
Johnny was the first talent that I emailed that I was either expecting a agent to respond, or I was just not going to get a reply. Because I'm thinking, this is a guy that's probably top 10 in popularity in WWE in the last 10 years, probably. And I'm like, I'm not going to get a response. And if I do, it's going to be a number that I'm like, can't afford this, I'm not there yet. And he got a signing booked with us in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
he's always
Like,
been
he
super
was
fan
like-
friendly though, and so that's
Very down there.
He worked with our schedule.
that color.
I mean,
just
not
does
schedule,
really good.
our
Yeah.
budget, and we worked with his schedule and location.
Yeah.
We had it like 20-25 minutes from his house. So,
It's great.
So there's a rocket launch over here in Cape Canaveral tonight.
Wait, I think I saw. Wait, did I see it?
I think it goes up at like, maybe, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I saw
Maybe you did,
something.
but yeah, then
Quarter to
I know.
nine.
Yeah, there is one going on tonight, but you might be on the way back already by then.
but Mia commented, when I first met the Kingdom, you guys were heels, but you were super down to earth.
Nice.
And she also asked, what is your guilty pleasure?
Ice cream.
There you go.
And Tori says, I'm always nervous when I go up to meet one of my favorite wrestlers. She was nervous when she met you for the first time. she always thinks she's going to make a fool out of herself. I somewhat feel the same way.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a long line, you're waiting there for like 20, 30 minutes waiting to meet somebody. All that time makes me like panic. Like, oh man, I'm going to wait all this time and then I'm going to just do something stupid.
Nah. That's just you guys overthinking.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all that is. Everybody's human.
No, man, that's
Like, I froze one time. 30, 45 minutes waiting in line to meet Cody Rhodes.
okay.
At that, the first, WrestleMania weekend, first big wrestling weekend I've ever met people. First person I met was Cody Rhodes. I finally get up there, I'm like, I have nothing to say.
And meanwhile, later on, he said he was nervous to meet all those people.
He said he was getting so nervous looking at the line and the expectations people had to meet him that he just wanted to run away.
Yeah.
It's hard in those situations because they know that they only get a few seconds with somebody.
Sure.
Because
Yes.
otherwise, like, if I make it longer than that, the line is gonna, take forever. But you go to a lot of those conventions. I mean, some people do take a lot of time with the people,
Yes.
and then the line is 3 or 4 hours long. But if you get to talk to them for a minute, like, sometimes it's worth the wait. It's like a good ride at Disney or something like that.
Yeah.
If you like it, then
Right.
I mean,
you're gonna wait and you're gonna get to meet them. But to get that picture or to get the autograph, whatever you collect or whatever you want, then
like
that's pretty cool.
one of the longest interactions you'll have is with Leva Bates. There's been multiple times where we see 20 people in line, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And I realize she's taking 5-10 minutes with each person because she wants to interact.
For sure.
Yeah.
And
But you know what? You're gonna remember that. That's gonna be memorable, and
Yeah.
some people.
the first indie show that we went to, she was there, and we were like, this is cool, but I don't know if we're going to make a huge deal of this.
Yeah.
And we met her on the way out, and she invited me to Atomic.
I'm sticking with Red. Redsicle is looking good.
Yes.
I think it looks
I think so,
awesome. Yeah,
too.
it's coming out really, really good.
Yeah, she invited me to Atomic and Fest, and
Yeah.
everything else is started
History.
from there. So
It's history.
I always say Leva started everything for us.
Yeah,
That
she's
is
cool.
Look at that.
And it's cool. She definitely hasn't, forgotten her.
I'm still trying to think about that fact about me.
Yeah. I was
So
gonna
Tori,
say-
by the way, is starting her own podcast. She did her first interview with Ryzen at the last show. So I'm very proud of you, if you're still watching this, for you to coming up with these
Right.
questions, because that is something she's going to need to do
Yeah.
if she's going to be doing these
Oh,
shows.
yeah,
And
for sure.
you want to get that,
Especially ones where you gotta think.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Mia said Leva is my bestie.
Nice.
And Shauna says, what is one thing you want indie photographers to know about you when they're photographing, either during a photo shoot or ringside, to improve the photos?
Oh.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And Tori said, thank you, Pete.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tori always does a good job at capturing, certain moments. That's pretty much what I think you wait for, moments or, certain facials, that thing. And, it's also up to the wrestler to give that photographer that moment. So I try to think of those things when I'm out there. But I think you do a good job how you are. I don't think it's a combination between the two, in my opinion. But she's gotten some pretty good photos of me.
Yeah, definitely. She's gotten some really good ones. I know, obviously, something with TV is different, but would you ever talk to a photographer and say, "Hey, I'm going to do my move this way," or is that just always
there
facing the
has
camera
been
for-
sometimes where if it's certain things, I'll say,
I want to
excuse me,
get
where
this.
yeah, this is gonna be a moment, I'll hold it for you, whatever.
Yeah.
But usually, if it's a photographer that's has experience
They
or
know.
knows, they just know.
Right. I get that. I know that move off the top rope is coming, so I'm going to make sure that I get to the corner so that I can get it the full way. This is just great. Like that red, it just jumps off.
I mean, that
That's
is the
great.
coolest thing. I love that.
Tori says, and Vincent, I would love to have you as a future guest on my podcast if you'd be interested in something like that.
Sure.
There you go.
All right.
Good job. Proud of you again.
And Shauna said, thank you, Vincent. I appreciate that so much.
Got it. Thank you. These photos are from Mexico.
Oh, really?
So I got 2 from Mexico
Yeah,
because
that
there's
one
another
is-
one of you in the ring
Yep.
with the
Yeah, same
CML.
photographer.
Mhm.
Super, super cool.
And how is it working with the Impact roster while you were there?
Impact roster is great. There's a lot of great wrestlers there. Everybody's great. And you know, it's like one of those things where it's like you go to a new place and you're kind of like, oh, I don't know how people are gonna, respond. But everybody was so welcoming there, and everybody was great to work with. Everybody, so it's a good experience.
I remember when we had our signing with Ace and Gia.
Oh, yeah.
You and Taven were there, and Jonah
Right.
and Rich and all these people.
Right.
And the rest of the roster is like, how does all these people know this guy? I don't know who this guy is.
We were like seconds away from being told, "There's the door."
Well, yeah, funny story. So, we get to the hotel, and Ace, Fulton, and Gia wanted to get the room ready before we go up there to start. And I'm sitting in the lobby with all the stuff. All the stuff to be signed.
Yeah, yeah.
And just stacks of 8x10 stack of posters, because 3 people ended up signing that night, because Fulton signed too.
Right.
So I'm sitting here with all these pictures that you know are going to be signed by somebody, and the roster's walking in, checking in, looking like, are you one of those people?
Yeah,
Let's
that
go.
waits.
The hotel hangout people?
Yes. And I got some looks from Mike and Maria. Speedball was like, I'm ready to
Mike and Maria are nice. They wouldn't. They're nice.
I think they were just like, is this guy here?
Yeah,
what is this
yeah.
guy here for? Speedball was like, I want to confirm that this guy is, not a just stalker of the entire roster.
Why, do they kick you out of the hotel if you are trying to do that? Like,
I think that if I were the roster, I'd be like, hey, can you get this guy out of here? Like, we can't be on call for autographs all the time, especially at a hotel.
oh, yeah, yeah.
You just get in from a flight and you probably just want to go and relax. Like, the last thing you want is someone with 28x10s wanting you to sign stuff. And right when I'm about to tell Speedball, hey, just so you know, I'm here for this,
Yeah.
Ace and Gia walk out of the elevator and said, hey, you ready? I was like, yes, I am.
Started getting a little anxiety there.
Well, Speedball Bailey doing pretty good stuff right now.
Yes.
He won the PWG tournament. I guess that was last night or.
We'd actually love to have Speedball and Beta Scott, 2 very talented people.
I think they said that he wrestled the most matches of anybody in 2022. It was like
Yeah, I'd
100.
believe that.
I don't know how much is a lot now. But, like back in the day, you used to hear like these guys doing.
I think my Red's losing some steam.
Oh.
I might have to switch it.
Oh man, I wonder if I'd have one.
I'm not surprised by that, mainly because I think he had, visa issues before? Some sort of, issues with not being able to wrestle in America or something. And it was changed in 2022, so I think he just went crazy and wrestled everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some difficulties, I can't remember exactly.
Oh, we got a new one?
Yeah.
Brand new
Brand
red.
new.
So if you know, this is the limited edition
Yeah,
gold
gold.
sign.
Yeah.
Make sure- there's one.
Yeah.
This is a one of one. Make sure you ask Keaton for the one of one right there.
And
But-
more and more, we're going to limit some art and cards and stuff like that. So that's our goal, to have cards very soon for all our future signings.
That would be cool.
Awesome.
We might have to get Vincent to sign it away from this signing if
Yeah.
we get him one, because I feel like he deserves a card at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'm honored
be
now
awesome.
to know that was the first card that you had, man. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Taven had one already, but Vincent didn't have one. Is that correct? You didn't have one before the Atomic set?
No.
Because I remember I asked Taven, he's like, yeah, I have this game card thing from a
Oh,
random...
the cartoon thing. I did
Yeah,
have one of those,
okay.
but that was
that's
they were
a
like a
caricature.
bigger. They weren't like a baseball card. They were more.
Oh,
like
they were like the 3x5s.
Yes.
Like they did ones for Shimmer.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes.
Ace Austin sells them at his merch
Yep.
table.
Yep.
I actually like the look of those. I wish.
Yeah, they're cool looking.
That's not. Ace Austin has a little card, like playing card, like thing, kind of too.
Oh
That's,
yeah.
Yes.
that's kind of cool.
That's why on the art print there's blood dripping down from
Yeah.
the card on the art print because he
That's-
slices people's in between his
Yeah,
fingers
yeah.
with his
That's cool.
ace.
That has to really
Yeah.
hurt though. Like, slam me on the ground, hurt my back, whatever. But give me a paper cut, and I'm gonna
cut,
cry
yeah.
like because like 3 weeks later you hit something, you're like ah. So have you been pretty fortunate with injuries in wrestling, or have you had
My injuries, I've dislocated my right shoulder in 2015. I didn't need surgery, but I kept coming out a
Okay.
few times, but therapy kind of took care of it.
Okay, that's good.
I tore my meniscus in my left medial, and I had to have surgery to have that removed.
Yeah.
I've broken a couple fingers. I've broken my nose twice, but nothing more extreme than that.
Okay, well, hey.
I'm surprised wrestlers don't break their nose more in
Oh,
matches.
they do. You know, some people you just don't know, but they do. I've broken mine twice. I mean, the first time that I broke it, it didn't bleed either. It just
Wow,
boom, broke my
that's-
nose.
Because it could be gushing.
Yeah. Yep. Like the penguin in Batman Returns.
Yes.
Your nose could be gushing blood.
One of my dream signings is to have Michael Keaton because
Michael Keaton's the best Batman ever.
I agree 100%. And that's not because his last name is Keaton.
I didn't think of that.
But it's not. That's not
Better
even
get
his
the
last
Mr.
name.
Mom
but
stuff signed
Yeah.
then too. 'Cause, yeah.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
He's in a lot of good movies.
You're good.
You got it.
Is
huh?
that,
Yeah.
is
We're
that
good?
everything
I
total?
think so. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
Well,
So we'll-
I tried to.
We can't forget Tori's question though.
The one that nobody, that no one knows about.
Mia says, "Good grief! Who caused those injuries? Taven? LOL."
No, my knee actually was at training.
Oh.
Which was a nightmare. Yeah, it's funny because I tore my knee, tore my meniscus in my knee, and what happened was there's a bucket tear, so it snaps and rolls into your joint, so I couldn't straighten my leg.
Oh.
And I had surgery, and the funny thing about it is I had the surgery, tore it and had the surgery during me and Taven's feud, and nobody knew that I had it done.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was during, it was right, so I don't know if you guys remember the match we had inside of the school we trained at. It was on one of the pay-per-views where Dutch debuts, he knocks us off the balcony.
Yes.
So it was right before that. I told the surgeon that I need to be back before this, on this date. I have to be back. I came in shy a little early than I should have, but like literally the surgery was like 3 weeks before that match
Wow.
happened. 3 or 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
Up and wrestling 3 weeks
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
After
Yeah,
surgery
being
like
on
that.
crutches, yeah. Yep, I got, and the craziest, this is even crazier for some reason. Oh, it was to watch the pay-per-view? Yeah, okay. It was to watch the pay-per-view because that match wasn't live.
Oh, okay.
They put it on the
Oh,
pay-per-view,
yeah.
you know. So I had surgery. What was it? What did I go to his house for? So anyway, Dutch lives in New York. I'm in Rhode Island.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I had gotten surgery. The day after getting surgery, I drove 3 hours to New York. I can drive because my right leg's fine. It's my left leg. But still, I just got surgery.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I
man.
drive to Dutch's house on right the day after. And I forgot exactly what we were getting together for, but it was something. Yeah, so I was there and Dutch taught me how to walk again.
Oh, wow.
Because a meniscus tear, you can almost walk almost instantly, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
it's the fear of that same pain being there, but it's not there anymore because it's taken care of. But it's just like trying to get your leg to like walk and function again. So I remember he threw my crutches down. I was like, all right, now walk to me. And, I've learned how to walk at Dutch's house. So-
Okay. Hey, well, thank you, Dutch.
So I
for,
drove home.
and I was able to walk. I left not being able to walk and drove home being able to walk. So yeah, it was like a good little trip. Yeah. So Dutch was like my physical therapist.
Hey, well, hey, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Man. But
I had another question I wanted to bring up somebody. I feel like my friends disappear on you all the time because someone that was a regular in Central Florida for a long time was Chuckles the Clown.
Oh yeah.
And what was it like working with him and his whole storyline?
Yeah, it was fine. You know, I don't really know exactly internally what happened with that. But you know, some of the stuff that we did like little like vignettes to kind of like kind of tell more about who he was and how he connected to me in that whole story. We had a lot of fun doing those. But yeah, that's about as far as it got. But he was interesting for sure, very interesting. But you know, nice guy.
I would say, what was the beginning of last year? We're at a show in Orlando, Mayhem on Mills, which is a very underrated show. It's put on by two wrestlers, and the money they put together, as far as I know. And he's on the card. I didn't know he was on the card. He was there. He wrestled in like January of last year.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know, what? Like, I haven't seen you forever. And he's like, well, you know, I might, you know, get some stuff getting going. You know, he was in Florida. I don't know if he was still. If he moved back to Florida or not, but he was living up north for his Ring of Honor contract. And I was like, all right, I guess we're going to see Chuckles in Central Florida. Hasn't wrestled since January 2021.
No, we know.
Well, I mean, you know, of the shows we go to.
Right. But is he in Florida?
I don't know.
You don't know
He was
where
like,
he
oh
is.
yeah, it's going to pick up because we were talking about the pandemic and how we're recovering from that. He's like, yeah, you know, things are going to get opened back up again. You know, it's going to rev up again. Like, okay.
He was very positive.
Yeah, I thought it was like, all right, you know, all of our companies that we work for that he's been there, we're going to see him on a regular basis. Nothing since. So I know he hurt his back.
Yeah.
He was the Generation Championship Wrestling Champion. He lost it at the WrestleMania show in Tampa.
Okay.
To the last champion that they just closed. But I was told he was injured then, and I thought, oh, I guess he's done after that. But then I saw him in Orlando, so I don't know what the story is.
Yeah, I have not heard from him since.
I think that'd be
pandemic time.
I think that'd be a cool match if we could put that together to come full circle to end that whole thing.
All right.
So.
Well, I hope he's well.
Yeah. He was always great to work with.
Yes.
Really nice guy.
He was
Really
nice.
cares about his people.
Yeah.
well, cool, man. I guess the last name on my list, though, I did have. So Matt Taven. So you guys had obviously a long rivalry and everything. You guys still is it more fun when you wrestle somebody that you know and you're friends with, like when you're actually in the ring, or does that make it harder to pretend that?
I think it makes it easier.
Does it?
You know.
I saw you guys in Boca a couple months ago,
especially
and that was
because
pretty cool. I'm like, I'm seeing this again. Like,
Yeah,
it was awesome.
I think
It was
makes
really
it
cool.
easier.
It was really cool.
That was a fun match.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Everybody was freaking out about the shoulder deal.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
The only reason why that worked is because I know what it feels like. So I was
man.
able to you know what I mean, like really play that up of like
You did amazing because I was like, oh no.
Yeah. I feel like it's always easier because you know each other so well.
Yeah.
You know? And sometimes it's not. Like sometimes people can be really good friends, but the chemistry just isn't there in the ring.
Yeah.
But we'd always kind of like mesh pretty well. You know what I mean? Like a lot of guys that I kind of came up with in the Massachusetts area, I've always like kind of had like certain chemistry with certain people. Like I always enjoyed like wrestling Tommaso all the time.
Sure.
I thought there was a good. It was always a good like because he was you know Tommaso was always ahead of me, and you know at the time I was like this young babyface kid. And, you know, so like it'd be a lot of Tommaso beating the hell out of me, but it just worked so well, you know. And then like you know Bennett and you know and Taven and a lot of those guys like Ivar came from our area. And I always had good chemistry with him. So like there's a lot of guys that like you know that I know personally, or friends with that I always have like good chemistry with. But you know sometimes it's not always that way, but a lot of them yes.
I
think it makes it easier.
We do have a comment. Vincent can't wait to see what's next, and Jordan posted that, and he capitalized NXT. So I'm thinking he has
We'll
some
have to-
hypotheses.
Yeah. I'll have to wait and see what's next.
Hey, well, whatever is next, we obviously wish you all the best, man. Thank you for
Thank
everything
you.
that you've done with us, and
Thank you guys. You guys
we've
are
always
great.
had a great time. First class guy, first class wrestler for sure. So
Thank you.
thank you,
Appreciate
man,
that.
for everything.
Of course. Thank you guys too. Appreciate you guys.
Oh, hey, if it weren't for the fans,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's it.
Absolutely.
So
But yeah,
I'll
you
get
wanna-
back to you on that question.
Yeah.
good one, Tori. Maybe you'll have to ask him
me
again
next time. You see
on
me
your
again.
podcast
Yeah.
when you make that
Yeah,
thing
you have
happen.
time
Get that
Save it for
together.
the podcast.
There you go. I'll give him some more time.
Yo, it's Effie. We're here in Gainesville, Florida, and I just finished up a private signing with Keaton's Collectibles. I signed so much wild stuff, so many exclusive pictures, posters, stuff you've never seen before, and some weirdo stuff that I had in the bag. And if you're wondering about Keaton's Collectibles, that's Keaton with a K and Collectibles with a K. You can find all of it on the website, keatonskollectibles.com. That includes all the Effie stuff, but don't be fooled. Keaton's Collectibles has a ton of stuff. They do private signings with celebrities, with wrestlers. They've got toys, they've got unique items, they've got secret autographs. Go check it out. Go find some of the Effie stuff and see if you can find some of the secret messages I left in between. keatonskollectibles.com. Love them. Love Effie.
Gosh.
We are live.
Yay.
All right, we lost it somehow. I'm glad it took this long, not right in the middle, but we are back on Facebook.
There you go. And YouTube, we're still there, and we were there the whole time.
Yes.
So if Keaton's not going to be superstar and edit that together or not, whatever. But
Everyone on Facebook Live, you missed so much. We just got to keep everything a secret.
he answered Tori's question, and it was an amazing answer. And I'm sorry you missed it, Tori, but
Yeah, you missed it.
It was great.
See you on the
And,
podcast.
Yeah. I too am a huge fan of the Spice Girls, so. No, but. How about music? You a music guy? Like what kind of?
Yeah, I mean, so for me, I like everything.
Yeah, right.
I
I'm
like
the same.
oldies. I like tons of stuff. Everything. Like, I don't really know exactly what my favorite. I mean, I love the new Slipknot album. I was on
there
that
you go.
kick for a little bit, listening to that. But I like so much music. I love the Cramps. It's a band that I love.
So who did your entrance theme then? The one where you come out where you're snapping and like.
So Hot Tag Media did that for
Okay,
me.
it's an actual company.
Yeah, he did a couple different wrestlers, but I remember there's a video actually on YouTube of me coming out wrestling Roosh. It was the first match we had. That's one of my favorite matches too. The singles match I had with Roosh in 2019, which is the second one we had, was one of my favorite singles matches. So the first match we had, I came out to the song that Hot Tag Media also made, but it was too Halloween creepy to me.
Okay.
And I was just like, but I understood why he did it, because at the time I was kind of getting away from the balloon thing at this time. I was kind of figuring out other stuff. And then, so I came out to it, and it just didn't, I was like, this is not it. Because it didn't have it's very John Carpenter sounding, and I was just like, this is not, if I was 6-7 feet tall and threw something, then fine, maybe it could come off pretty creepy, but I'm not. So it didn't really have that, it was almost too menacing, and I was just like, this isn't me.
Yeah, right.
And then we had talked, and at this time when we talked, I kind of started to evolve a little more, and I need something like snapping, or something that a beat that can go I don't know, this ranch style, but still I have that edge creepiness to it. That's something that fans can kind of latch onto,
Oh,
and
yeah.
enjoy,
Mhm.
and he sent that first try.
Oh, wow.
He sent it first try. He's like, "How's this?" I was like, "This is it. This is perfect."
Like,
And,
there is a vibe when you from in the audience, when you're sitting in the audience and you come
Yes.
out and
Yeah.
like
Definitely.
everybody starts doing the snapping thing, and it's really cool.
And that's what
Like,
I.
so he's-
That's what, thank you. And that's
Yeah.
what I wanted. I wanted to be like a vibe, but not just for me, for like everyone.
Everybody.
To kind of
No,
like
yeah. You know,
Yep.
there's iconic
Get in on
entrances
it.
in wrestling.
Yes.
And I do believe that you have one of them because
and
it's
I,
like
and I feel like if you don't have that, it's like,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I think, like, to me, the entrance is a huge part of the presentation. And, you know, like, so that was important to me.
That's-
And
That's
Yeah.
a great point.
so once I found it, I was like, this is it, you know?
There's been shows where you've been on and the crowds were like mediocre to like dead at the time, and we're like, oh man, no one's
Yeah.
gonna get reactions tonight. Like it's not gonna be one of those nights. And then your music hits, and everyone just like
Yeah, that's...
snaps into it. No pun intended.
I'm
Yeah.
always like, every time I'm always like, thank God for this music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly.
Definitely.
Like, you know, because it's all that. I mean, I guess it does matter also who comes out to the music, you know?
Yeah,
but,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. I wanted just something that, like, it was like I wanted to create something in an entrance in a certain way that I move that nobody else can do. Like, you couldn't, like, to me, you couldn't steal what I do even if you tried. Because
Right.
it would be noticeable.
it's
and
not
two,
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
it's and two, it's just not like, you know, everybody, their body moves a certain way. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like,
I put your entrance right up there with the Rich Swan.
In-
Like
in
when
t-
you hear
in-
it.
in different
As soon-
ways, but like the same
Yes.
category.
different energies, but like
Yes.
same.
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as
Yeah, you know
that
a party's
starts,
happening when he comes out.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like, but that's what you need. That's
Yes.
Yeah.
There's like
And it's the hardest part. It took me years to find something like that.
Effie watched Rich Swan wrestle at River City Wrestling Con last year, and he had like a 5+ minute entrance because they let the whole song of All Night Long play, and he danced the entire time. And Effie goes, I want us to have our entrances, do a dance off, hold hands, and just walk back to the back. Don't even wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
Like wrestling, it would be secondary at that point.
Yeah.
The crowd loves dance-offs. That's
Yeah,
Depends on who's doing it.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah,
Again, but
yeah. Jim Ross wasn't the best choice
for a dance-off
for a
competitor?
dance-off.
No?
Legendary announcer. Nobody else can announce like him for the pretty much all of his career, but dance-off, a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, these are so cool, man. Your guide, absolutely.
Yes.
Slewinski?
Slewinski.
Slewinski.
Yep.
Guy, great job, man.
Oh yeah, actually, could you sign one too, Guy?
Of course. He's the same one that
Yeah, I would give him a good one. You can just sign that one.
Yeah.
I'll-
that I think it comes off. You just gotta. I think it's like
A lot of times we have smudges and like spots on it that will
Oh,
come off
yeah.
later.
We rub them off, yeah.
If not, we'll probably list them as like, you know, scratched and dented items.
Yeah.
You know?
Vintage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
There's still that
But,
gold one of one out there, guys. so
Yes.
make sure you-
We actually have one that if you buy a FE art print, because it's all going to be random, we didn't list them as inscriptions. He actually signed his real name first, and then FE.
Effie is not his real name. You gotta figure that. I think good on him, man. He's actually like really made a name for himself. Like he actually was at the first or second ARW show, you know, 5 or
Yes.
6 years ago, and had the pink jacket, and now you know he's really made a name for himself. So it's cool to see again people evolving and getting
Yeah.
better and
I really feel
doing
like
their thing and living their life.
I feel like two of the biggest reasons why Fest Wrestling has been the company it's been is because of Effie and Sue Young.
Sure.
They were the two big headliners for the majority of the time, and it'd be crazy to think about that company without them. But I would actually love to see Vincent in Fest Wrestling.
Yes.
Where are they?
In Gainesville.
Okay.
That's the place that Matt Taven actually had a Twitter feud to potentially set up a match, but the mystery opponent was not Matt Taven. It was MV Young, and it was supposed to be a mystery opponent, and it turned out to be CJ O'Doyle. But
Didn't they wrestle without a ring there one time, or
in a bar?
In a bar,
Yeah.
Oh, one time, is that something they always do?
No, that's a one-off thing. Like
Okay.
it was the sort of thing where I think they were told that there's not going to be a ring like 2 weeks before the show.
Okay.
Oh no! Here's what
They
happened.
lost the venue.
The venue double booked,
Yeah.
and that's the only place that was available.
Yep.
So they just did bar fights
Okay,
instead.
Yeah.
So Effie had the opportunity to wrestle with Alley Catch against the Rock and Roll Express that night.
Wow.
Because everything that Fest did, he decided to wrestle Dylan McQueen in a bar instead. So,
Okay.
Because he said, I know where I started, and I don't want to disappoint those people for that's, giving me my start. So that's what he did.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tori says, OMG, yes, I would love to see Vincent at Fest.
They couldn't. I don't think they could get a venue big enough if he would come to Fest.
I would love to see you wrestle Effie and see how those two characters blend
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
You want to do two guy on this one, or?
Yeah.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
For sure. I'd love to.
GUY.
We might have to talk to some people.
Yeah.
How often do they do a show at Fest? Like a couple times a year.
I think they're doing quarterly now.
Okay.
Before they were doing like almost every month.
Was it really?
Before the pandemic was like 8-10 shows a year. It
So
was
did
crazy.
Effie start in Gainesville then? Like, 'cause that's kind of his show. Isn't it?
He was in Tallahassee at the time. He was actually a higher up at 2 Men in a Truck, the moving service.
yeah.
He was like the general manager of the Tallahassee area.
Normally, people in Tallahassee and Gainesville don't talk to each other too,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
Florida State and Florida. They don't.
I don't know if Effie's that big of a football fan.
Oh,
So
well,
he might be like, I
it
have no idea what you're
doesn't
talking
matter.
about. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. But
Guy, this one was for you, man.
Thank
you
you,
for
Guy.
thank you
Yeah.
for
Stuff,
doing the
man.
artwork, man. You
That's
did
awesome.
a great job.
Tori said, I feel like if Effie had a match with Vincent, at some point, Effie would do the snaps. Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Love
he
that.
would.
Yeah, and both of
Yes.
you are big promo people. Like you'll do.
Yeah.
It's a very like the story is
I
like
would love-
the big
yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
I'd love to wrestle Effie. Never have. Yeah.
my dream match at Atomic was Jesse Neal versus Effie, and like how they would do promos like you're not like me, I'm not like
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
and then have this heated thing, and then have a match that like tears the house down, and then like shake hands or hug at the end. Like we're all the same.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Turns out we're not so different.
Yes.
Right. Look at Keaton, Megan booking.
Oh, he's always thinking like what.
I have way too many ideas sometimes.
Celebrity booker, man. But all right, again. Well, I think we did get everything.
Yes, I
out.
think
Yeah,
we
I
did
think we
get
did
everything.
this
Awesome.
Thank you very much, man. We
So-
really appreciate
Thank
you
you.
coming
Thank
over
you.
and
Yeah.
doing all that.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you for watching.
Check out
Shauna
Keaton
and Tori.
Collectibles. They have a lot of cool stuff. My
Yeah.
daughter got a Funko Pop from me.
Yes.
My
Yes.
kids have bought a lot of Funko Pops.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, just give whatever to
Cool
Keaton.
stuff.
That's cool.
And all these things will be processed and add to the website with the signatures, all the 8x10s. I'm working on getting a scanner to scan the posters so we can do that too.
Yeah.
Everything that was in the show as well, 24-hour prices, 48-hour prices we determined. So if you contact us, we have special sale prices. And yeah, anyone else have any? Where can everyone follow you on social media?
Social media, my Twitter is the Horror King VM. My Instagram is Righteous Vincent, and my Facebook is Righteous Vincent as well.
Awesome, guys. Well, make sure you're following him. Vincent, thank you for everything, man. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate
coming
you
on.
guys.
Always.
Thank you guys. See you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for watching.